little chap. And remember, the darkest hour is just before dawn. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Winslow, for that information. My readers will be most interested. What's she talking about?
Well, the case, I imagine.
Oh, case. Father, did you know the train had 14 coaches?
Did it indeed?
Yes, all of them corridor.
Remarkable.
Of course, it was one of the very biggest expresses. Sorry! I walked all the way down it from one end to the other.
I've had your half-term report, Ronnie.
Oh, yes?
On the whole, it was pretty fair.
Oh, good.
Very glad you seem to be getting on so well. Very glad indeed.
What a charming woman, Arthur.
Oh, charming. I do hope you go for full details about our curtains.
Oh, yes, I told her everything.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I do think women reporters are a good idea.
Father, will it be all right for me to stay till Monday? I mean, I won't be missing any work, only divinity.
Grace, take him upstairs and get him washed. Sir Robert will be here in a few moments.
Come along, darling.
All right. I say, do you know how long the train took on the way back? 123 miles in 2 hours and 52 minutes.
My gracious.
Violet! Violet, I'm back!
Did the doctor say anything, dear?
Yes, a great deal, but very little to the purpose.
Well, he's back, judging by the noise.
Oh, I must say, that old frock has come up a treat. John will never know it isn't brand new.
He is late, curse him.
Grace, go up and see to Ronnie.
Yes, dear. Oh, that does look good. I must say, Madame Dupont's a treasure.
Oh, Kate. Oh, Kate, are we both mad, you and I?
What's the matter, Father?
No, I don't know. I suddenly feel suicidally inclined. A father's fight for his little boy's honour. Special interest to all women. Photo insert of Mrs. Winslow's curtain. Is there any hope for the world?
I think so, Father.
Shall we drop the whole thing, Claire?
I do not consider that a serious question.
You realise that if we go on, your marriage settlement will have to go.
Oh yes, I gave that up for lost weeks ago.
Things are all right between you and John, aren't they?
Oh yes, Father, everything's perfect.
I mean, this won't make any difference between you.
No, not a bit.
Well then, let us pin our faith to Sir Robert Morton. I see I'm speaking only for myself when I say that.
You know what I think of Sir Robert Morton, Father? Please don't let's get into that now. Besides, I'd rather think it's too late anyway.
It's not too late. He hasn't accepted the brief yet.
Then I'm rather afraid. I hope he never does, and that has nothing to do with my marriage settlement either.
I made inquiries about that fellow that you suggested. I am told that he is not nearly as good an advocate as Morton.
Not really so fashionable.
I want the best.
The best in this case certainly isn't Sir Robert Morton.
Then why does everyone say he is?
Because if one happens to be a monopoly attacking a trade union or a Tory paper rivaling a Labour leader, he is the best. But it utterly defeats me how you or anyone else can imagine a man of his standing to have even a tenth of the heart when the boot is entirely on the other foot.
Well, if his heart isn't in it, I imagine he won't accept the brief.
Well, he might still. It depends what's in it for him. Luckily, there isn't much.
Well, there is a fairly substantial cheque.
He doesn't want money, Father. He must be a very rich man.
What does he want?
Anything that advances his interests.
I believe that you are prejudiced against him because he spoke out against women's suffrage.
I am prejudiced against him. I am prejudiced because he speaks out against what is right and just. Did you not see his speech in the House on the Trades Disputes Bill?
Oh, well, in the words of the Prime Minister, let us wait and see. You're my only ally, Kate. Without you, I believe I should have given up long ago.
Rubbish.
No, it's true. But you must sometimes let me make my own decisions. I have an instinct about Morton. We'll see which is right, shall we? My instinct or your reason?
I am afraid we will.
you heard? I'm being scratched from the Oxford Stakes at the end of the year.
Oh, Dickie, I am sorry.
Did you know it was in the wind?
I knew there was a chance, yes.
You might have warned a fellow. I fell plump into the old man's trap. My gosh, I could just about murder that little brother of mine. Why does he have to go about stealing postal orders for him? Why the hell does he have to get himself nabbed doing it? Silly little blighter.
Oh, that's all right, Violet. It's only Mr. Wotherstone. I'll get it. I'm terribly sorry. I was expecting a friend. Won't you sit down, Mr. Morton? My father won't be long. Won't you sit over here? It's far more comfortable.
No, thank you.
Sir Robert has a most important dinner engagement this evening, so we came a little early.
I see.
I'm afraid he can only spare us a very few minutes of his most valuable time this evening. Of course, it's a long way for him to come so far from his chambers. It's very good of him to do so too, if I may say.
I know. I can assure you we are very conscious of it.
Perhaps I'd better advise your father of our presence.
Yes, do, Desmond. He's in the study.
Oh, I see.
Can I get you anything, Sir Robert? A whiskey and soda or a brandy?
No, thank you.
Will you smoke?
No, thank you.
Won't you take your coat off, Sir Robert?
No, thank you.
Oh, you'll find it cold in
It
here.
is perfectly all right.
What time are you dining?
8 o'clock
Oh, from here?
at Devonshire House.
Oh, then, of course. You mustn't be late on any accounts.
No.
I suppose you know the particulars of this case, do you?
I believe I've seen most of the relevant documents.
And do you think we can bring it to court by a collusive action?
I really have no idea.
Well, Curry and Curry seem to think it might hold.
Do they? They are a very reliable firm.
I'm rather surprised a case of this sort should interest you, Sir Robert.
Oh, indeed.
It seems a very trivial affair compared to most of your great forensic triumphs. I was in court during your cross-examination of Len Rogers in the trades union embezzlement case.
Oh,
It was masterly.
thank you.
Suppose you heard he committed suicide a few months ago?
Yes, I had heard that.
You know, many people believed him innocent.
So I understand. As it happens, however, he was guilty.
Sir Robert, my husband's so sorry to have kept you waiting. He's just come.
It's perfectly all right. How do you do?
Sir Robert is dining at Devonshire House, Mother.
Oh, really? Then you must be punched for cause. I do see that.
Sir Robert, I'm Arthur Winslow.
How do you do, sir?
I understand that you are rather pressed for time.
He's dining at Devonshire House.
Oh, I indeed. My son will be down in a few moments. I imagine that you will wish to examine him.
Just a few questions. I'm afraid that's all I will have time for this evening.
Oh, I'm rather sorry to hear that. He has made the journey to London specially for this interview, and I had hoped that by the end of it I would know definitely yes or no whether you would accept the brief.
Well, perhaps Sir Robert would consent to finishing his examination some other time.
It might be arranged.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is impossible. I'm in court in the morning and in the House of Commons for the rest of the day. If further examination is required, it will have to be next week.
I see. Curry tells me that you think it might be possible to proceed by a petition of right.
What is a petition of right?
Well, granting the assumption that the Admiralty is the Crown can do no wrong.
I thought that was exactly the assumption we refused to grant.
In law, I mean. Now, a subject can sue the Crown, nevertheless, by a petition of right, redress being granted as a matter of grace. And the custom is for the Attorney General, on behalf of the King, to endorse the petition and allow the case to come to court.
It's interesting to note that the exact words he uses on such occasions are, "Let right be done."
Let right be done. I like that phrase.
It has a certain ring about it, does it not? Let right be done.
Oh, Ronnie. Sir Robert, this is my son Ronald. Ronnie, this is Sir Robert Morton. Now, he is going to ask you a few questions. You must answer them all truthfully, as you have always done. Sir Robert, I imagine you will wish us to leave?
No, provided, of course, that you don't interrupt. Miss Winslow, would you please sit down?
Done.
Now, I'd like you to stand there, facing the table. That's right. How old are you?
13 and 7 months.
So you were then 13 and 10 months when you left Osborne, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I want you to cast your mind back to July 7th of last year and tell me in your own words exactly what happened on that day.
All right. Well, it was a half holiday, so we didn't have any work after dinner.
Dinner.
Yes, at 1 o'clock, and to prep at 7.
Prep at 7.
Yes. Just before dinner, I went to see the chief petty officer and asked him to let me have 15 and 6 out of what I had in the college bank.
Why did you do that?
I wanted to buy an air pistol.
Which cost 15 and 6.
Yes, sir.
How much money did you have in the college bank at that time?
£2, 3 shillings.
So you see, sir, what possible incentive could he have to steal
If you would be
advice?
so good as not to interrupt, sir. What did you do after you withdrew the 15 and 6 from the college bank?
I had dinner.
And then?
I went to put the money in my locker.
I see. And then?
I went for permission to go down to the post office. Then I went back to the locker room, got up my money, and went down to the post office.
Continue.
I bought my postal order.
For 15 and 6.
Yes. And then I went back up to college, where I met Elliot Minor. And he said, I say, isn't it what? Someone's broken into my locker and pinched a postal order.
Those were his exact words.
He might have used another word for what.
I see. Continue.
Well then, just before prep, I was told to go along and see Commander Flower. The lady from the post office was there, and he said, is this the boy? And she said, it might be, I can't be sure. They all look so much alike.
You see, she couldn't identify him.
Continue.
Then she said, I only know that the boy who bought a postal order for 15 and 6 was the same boy that cashed them for 5 shillings. So the commander said, did you buy a postal order for 15 and 6? So I said, yes. And then the maid made me write Elliot Minor's name in an envelope and compared it to the signature on the postal order. Then they sent me to the sanatorium, and 10 days later I was expelled.
I see. Did you cash a postal order belonging to Elliot Minor for 5 shillings?
No, sir.
Did you break into his locker and steal it?
No, sir.
And that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
When the commander asked you to write down Elliot's signature, how did you write it? Christian name or initials?
I wrote Charles K. Elliot.
Charles K. Elliot.
Yes, sir.
And did you happen to see the forged postal order in the commander's office?
Oh, yes, the commander showed it to me.
Before or after you had written on the envelope?
After.
And did you happen to notice how Elliot had written his signature?
Yes, sir. The same.
The same. Charles K. Elliot. When you wrote on the envelope, what made you choose that particular form?
That was the way he usually signed his name.
How do you know?
Well, he was a friend of mine.
That is no answer. How did you know?
I'd seen him sign things.
What things?
Oh, ordinary things.
I repeat, what things?
Bits of paper.
Bits of paper. And why did he sign his name on bits of paper?
I don't know.
You do know. Why did he sign his name on bits of paper?
He was practicing his signature.
And you saw him.
Yes.
And he knows you saw him.
Well, yes.
In other words, he showed you exactly how he wrote his signature.
Yes, I suppose he did.
Did you practice writing it yourself?
I might have done.
What do you mean you might have done? Did you or did you not?
Yes.
Ronnie, you never told me that.
It was only for a joke.
It doesn't matter whether it's for a joke or not. The fact is, you practiced forging Elliot's signature.
It wasn't forged.
What do you call it?
Writing.
Very well, writing then. The person who stole Elliot's postal order also cashed it by writing his signature, did he not?
Yes.
And oddly enough, in exactly the same form you had earlier been practicing writing his signature.
I say, which side are you on?
Don't be impertinent. You know that the Admiralty has sent the forged postal order to Mr. Ridgely Pierce, the greatest handwriting expert in England.
Yes.
And you know that Mr. Ridgely Pierce has affirmed beyond all doubt that the signature on the postal order and the signature which you had written on the envelope were by the same hand.
Yes.
And you still say that you didn't forge that postal order.
Yes, I do.
In other words, Mr. Ridgely Pierce doesn't know his job.
Well, he's wrong anyway.
You went to the locker room. Were you alone?
I don't remember.
You do remember. Were you alone in the locker room?
Yes.
And you knew which was Elliot's locker?
Yes, of course.
Why did you go to the locker room at all?
I've told you. Put my 15 and 6 away.
Why?
I thought it would be safer.
Why safer than your pocket?
I don't know.
You had it in your pocket all through dinner. Why this sudden fear for its safety?
I tell you, I don't know.
It strikes me as odd that it was perfectly safe in your pocket. What impelled you to put it in the locker?
I don't know.
Perhaps because you knew you'd be in the locker room alone at the time.
No.
was Elliot's locker in relation to yours?
Next to it but one.
Next but one. And what time did Elliot put his postal order into his locker?
I don't know. I didn't know he had a postal order in his locker. I didn't know he had one at all.
Yet you said you were great friends.
He didn't tell me he had one.
Oh, how very secretive of it. What time did you go into the locker room?
I don't remember.
Was it perhaps directly after dinner?
Yes, I think so.
And what did you do after leaving the locker room?
I've told you. I went for permission to go down to the post office.
What time was that?
About 2:15.
Dinner finishes at 2:45, so you were alone in the locker room for 30 minutes.
I wasn't there all that
Well,
time.
how long were you there?
About 5 minutes.
And what were you doing for the other 25?
I don't remember.
It's odd that your memory is so good about some things and yet so bad about others.
Perhaps I waited outside the Sears office.
Perhaps you waited outside the CO's office. And perhaps no one saw you there either.
No, I don't think they did.
What were you thinking about for the 25 minutes while you were outside the CO's office?
I don't know. I can't remember. Perhaps I wasn't there at all.
No, perhaps you were in the locker room rifling Elliot's locker.
Sir,
Quiet!
I remember. I remember now. Someone did see me outside the Sears office. A chap called Casey. I remember I spoke to him.
And what did you say?
I said, come down to the post office with me. I'm going to cash a postal order.
Cash! A postal
I mean,
order.
get.
But you said cash. Why did you say cash if you meant get?
I don't know. I really...
I suggest cash was the truth.
No, it wasn't really.
You seem easily muddled. How many other lies have you told?
None, really.
I
haven't.
suggest your whole testimony is a lie.
No, it's the truth.
I suggest you have barely spoken a word of truth to me, the judge, advocate, or the commander. I suggest that you broke into Elliot's locker, stole his postal order, and cashed it by means of forging his signature.
I didn't.
I suggest you meant to do it as a joke, meaning to give the 5 shillings back to Elliot after. But when you heard him reported it, you got frightened and kept quiet.
No, it isn't true.
I suggest that by continuing to deny your guilt, you are causing great hardship to your family and considerable annoyance to high and important people in this country.
That is a disgraceful thing to say.
I suggest the time has come for you to undo some of this misery that you have caused by admitting to us all now that you are a forger, a liar, and a thief.
I'm not! I didn't do it!
This is outrageous, sir!
Can I drop you anywhere? My car is at the door.
No, thank you.
Well, see to it all this stuff is brought around to my chambers in the morning, will you?
But will you need it now?
Of course. The boy is plainly innocent. I accept the brief.
Yeah, you do. You have to say, don't stand over there. Don't look over that way. You have to manipulate it. Yes. Massage. Oh God, I was on there. Is this very slippery? Oh, I won't touch it. I'll let it Oh dear. No, darling. Not much chance of that.
She made yes again. What? You never came round the back last week. I know you had that. Yeah, my mum did. My dad said my husband.
Again?
No, they weren't here last night.
No, you're confused. Mark, who was here last night, is Annie's older son. Simon, who's married to Jane, is Annie's younger son.
In-laws were here.
Yeah, in-laws were here last night. Real parents and blood and heart. You've got trouble with it, yeah. You've got a dream time.
My mum was very curious about it. And that
So there are 3 different families. And I can't talk about
Mike, you come to the Swan afterwards? There's bread and cheese out there. There's French cheese. Oh, you're not sorry. Down the left. You can tell.
It's not to do. Thank you for the There is a service happening. Big custard.
will be children don't share the night outside all day, like the ploughboy told watching the good all the leaves. And when I go indoors at night, they know what I say, with me end is out the edge of me. How it feels a very pretty garden, and the soap works from the house could be seen. If you've got a health and feeling, you'll enjoy the breeze more fully. If it wasn't for the lag in between.
What, this playing?
Here's the banishes in box with the cross-eyed crocodile, though they have got the pip and in the mouth. In a dog's house on the line post there was kitchens 9 or 10, till someone took the brick and knocked it off. The gas car, though it seldom comes, is just like harvest goes, and we mean to rig a dairy up somehow. Put the donkey in the washers with some imitation arms, for we're teaching him to move just like a cow. Our really is a very pretty garden, and then to the rest we could be seen. And by climbing up the chimney, you could see across the window, if it wasn't for the alley in between.
off. Well, if you want to outside, you yes, but obviously you can't go rummaging through the wheelchair.
That's why I'm getting like you know, leaning forward to the lady. You operate here.
Just the lights.
They're in a hurry.
Like to display our
No.
Nothing to be polished about it.
I'd like to find a way. No,
Windows on. Jay.
Could I have your attention for just one moment? During the performance, a little electric beeping noise went off several times, 3 or 4 times. Somewhere in the audience, it happened when people were out of the room, so it might have been a beeper in a coat pocket. If you can identify it and turn it off, please do. If you don't know what it is, never mind. But it was a little beep 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 beep. We all heard it. Thank
The Admiralty, during the whole of this long and drawn-out dispute, has at no time acted either hastily or ill-advisedly. I repeat, there is nothing that the Admiralty has either done or failed to do in the case of this cadet for which I, as First Lord, need to apologise. I trust my reading isn't keeping you awake. I say I trust my reading isn't keeping you awake. Grace.
My poor sleepy little lamb. It's well past his bedtime, Martha.
Grace, your poor sleepy little lamb is at this very moment the subject of a violent and heated debate in the House of Commons. I should have thought that in the circumstances it might have been possible for him to contrive to stay awake for a few minutes past his bedtime.
I expect he's overexcited.
Oh yes, the picture of overexcitement. Ronnie. Ronnie.
Yes, Father?
I'm reading an account of the debate. Would you like to listen or would you rather go to bed?
Oh, I'd like to listen, Father, of course. I was listening too, only I had my eyes shut.
Very well. There is no doubt in my mind that in certain cases private rights must be sacrificed for the public good.
Yes, sir. There are 3 more reporters in the hall. Shall I let them in? They want to speak to you.
No, certainly not. I made a statement yesterday. Until the debate is over, I have nothing more to say.
Well, yes, that's what I told them, but they won't go.
Well, make them. Use force if necessary.
Yes, sir. I'll raise a punion on this Spanish onion. Oh, shall I make some sandwiches for Miss Kate so she's missed her dinner?
Good idea, Violet.
Yeah. Right, no more statements.
Grace,
Yes?
I fancy this this might be a good opportunity of talking to Violet.
No, dear.
Meaning this isn't a good opportunity? Or meaning that you have no intention of ever talking to Violet?
I will do it one day, tomorrow perhaps, but not now.
I believe you'll do better to grasp the nettle. Delay only adds to your worries.
My worries? What do you know about my worries?
A good deal, Grace. And I think there will be a lot lessened if you face the situation squarely.
It's easy for you to talk, Arthur. You don't have to do it.
Well, I will if you wish.
No. Besides, it will be very difficult for her to get another place.
Well, we'll give her an excellent reference.
Yes, but that doesn't alter the fact that she's never been properly trained as a parlour maid, and, well, it's a brutal thing to do.
Facts are brutal things.
Facts?